Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about dwarves. There'll be 4 chapters to this video, and I'll put segments so that you can skip to the one that you want to read about. But basically I saw that there was missing information on the Wikipedia, and there I am. I decided that I'm going to, instead of updating the Wikipedia, which I don't know what to do there when I've never done it before, I figured I'd make a video about it. So we're just going to jump straight into it, starting with the basic dwarf. Chapter 1, Dwarfs. So a male dwarf, basically you start off with 1000 HP. Now you can change that. You can, obviously, if you have a library, you can get more. Walking speeds are, every unit will basically have about 105 walking speed. Obviously you can run, and you can get things to increase your walking speed, such as wine or beer or tea. And yeah, climbing speed, you can obviously increase that stat as well, which is only 80. I think that's frames per, yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but you see them walking, and when they run away they go a lot faster. I couldn't get the stats on how fast or the units run, but I was able to get their walking speed, so I think running speed is just 25% or 50% faster. All units in the game have a base armor of 0.2. Now obviously, because it's a normal dwarf, you can increase that by adding armor, and going from there. Now, armor reduces damage flat, so 0.2 armor will reduce 25 damage to 24.8. You start off with 5 damage, and you can increase that with weapons. Attack speed is 1.3, and this is universally the understood attack speed by all units is 1.3. Some units will have a modifier that increases the attack speed, but yeah, 1.3 is pretty much the basic. A normal dwarf can carry 3 items. You can increase that to 5 by getting an upgraded backpack. And the mining is 15, you can increase that to 150. Lumbering is 15, you can increase that to 75, I think, or 80, something like that. Can you use forge? Yes. Well, I've put forge there because it was easier to squeeze in, but what I mean by that is you can use forge, lathe, workbench, cooking, fireplace, library, everything. So that's what that means. Skills, you start off with all the one skill, and then you can add 2 extra skills, unless you got obliteration potion, and then you can get rid of that skill you started with and get 3 new skills. But a lot of people don't do that. They just keep the obliteration potions, are very late game. Abilities. Okay, so this depends on the weapon. If you have a sword, then it means you can equip a shield. There's only one other weapon in the game that allows you to equip a shield, and that's the multi-shot dragon rifle, which shoots 5 shots, I think. And it's the only other weapon, other than a sword or a mace, that allows you to equip a shield. Bows allow you the ability to equip weapons, like extra fire damage or frost damage, so you can freeze your targets. Then you have staffs, and staffs let you use potions, healing potions, freeze potions, obliteration potions, not the ones that give away skills, but ones that do a little bit of damage. explosion potions, stuff like that. So yeah, and we'll just move on. So this is the female dwarf. Now everything here is basically the same except for these three stats at the top. Instead of having 1000 HP, you have only 800, and your walking speed is a little bit faster. But every other stat is the same. Now, I know you have to pay to get female dwarfs, but they are worth it. One of the biggest factors early in the game is getting around and carrying. Like when you're carrying an item, that 120 becomes 105. So you can imagine what 105 goes to. It probably goes to like 80 or 90. So you become slower with the more items you carry. And female dwarves are a lot more efficient at carrying items. But the health is a little bit of a downplay. 800 is not a lot. Now on level 2, you will encounter werewolves. And they will instill a debuff called lycanthropy, which is this symbol that you'll see on your dwarfs. They'll contract lycanthropy. Sometimes they'll only be like 18 or 14, or it'll be a single stat. Now what this means is, as you can see, they're all different ones here. Whenever there is a red moon, there is a 25% chance that your dwarf will turn into a were-dwarf, or a 57% chance, or 100% chance. So yeah, you need to brew an antidote and heal the poor thing. Now this is a problem because it's almost at the end of the tech tree. So it says here, or we could continue to exploit its strength. And let's have a look at its strength, because it is worth exploiting for a lot of the game. Okay, so a male were-dwarf. They're basically both the same, the female and the male. I know they should be different, but they're not. They have 3000 HP, same walking. Climbing speed they're not that great at. They can jump, which is good. If it's a one-tile block, they'll jump instead of climbing. Armor 0.2, as like I said, that's base armor. Damage is 120. Attack speed is 1 instead of 1.3. Can't carry anything, can't do anything. Yeah, you can't use forge. And skill is lycanthropy. That's Okay, abilities. Now this is new. Alright, it can heal to 50% if it's below 50% and out of combat. So it'll have a little snooze, and it heals up really fast. It only takes like 2 or 3 seconds. One of the biggest problems with these, if there are two next to each other and there's no combat, they'll play fight and they will hurt each other, but they'll still heal up to 50% after that once they're done fighting. But sometimes it'll happen late in the morning and all of a sudden it's daytime and the red moon disappears, and now you have a 50% health dwarf, or a low health dwarf that you have to heal up, which is the only real downside, other than the fact that it can't mine, it can't lumber, it can't use any forge. You cannot control. In fact, until the recent patch, the 1.98, you couldn't use, you couldn't even shift click onto them, or control click onto them. It would crash the game, which they've now fixed. So you can't control a were-dwarf. So the female version, much the same. Actually, it is exactly the same. So yeah, a little bit of a buff to the female version, but yeah, we'll move on. So next we have the mercenaries. Now these are completely AI controlled. You'll get them out of Pandora's chests, or you will encounter them in level 6 and level 7. Wait a minute. Yeah, level 6 and level 7. Now they have 3000 HP, walking speed 105, climbing speed 80, armor 27. This is the mountain warrior with a sword. So this is, you'll see, you can get this gear if you want. Attack speed 2.0. That's a lot faster, but yeah, because he has a sword. Because it's AI controlled, he doesn't work for you. He works for the computer. If he comes out of a Pandora's box, they'll just defend your stock pile. So they won't actually go out and do any work for you. Now there are different versions. Here's the one with the bow. Same thing, Mercenary Mountain Warrior with the bow. Now the only difference here is the damage 35, attack speed is 1.5, and the accuracy is 70%, which is pretty good. So this is actually pretty good. So basically iron weaponry. And that's basically the only difference. But this is the one you really want. Now like I said, on level 6 and level 7, and you can get them out of Pandora's boxes as well in the earlier levels, but this is the Mercenary Mountain Guardian gear. It's a lot different. The health is the same, these stats are the same, but the armor is 80. The damage is 42. The attack speed is lower at 1.0, and like I said, it doesn't do any work. It's not controlled by you. So you'll have to keep that in note. But you can only get them out of Pandora's box early in the game, and later in the game you'll see them around the map. And you will be able to get this gear on level 6 and level 7, but I'm pretty sure you can't use the gear in level 7. Level 6 is the Lonely Mountain. You can use this gear is lying all over the place, and it's really good that you get it for free, so you can just put it on and away you go. But these dwarves, yeah, you can't control them. Okay, so the next dwarf is interesting. Sorry about the blurry image. They were hard to take a screenshot of. This is a civilian dwarf. They're only in level 7. They only have 500 health. Same walking, same climbing. Completely AI controlled, passive, and cannot harm anyone. So these are just farmers. They're integral to the storyline. So spoilers if you don't want to know what happens in level 7. So I'll tell you right now. I can't remember, the Demon Lord or something like that. I can't remember his name. The king, the enemy king, evil king. He's using machines to turn civilian dwarves into monsters, and gargoyles go and pick them up and take them to the machines, and they turn into monsters and attack you. So the whole idea of the map is to go over there and stop them. You can set up towers and stuff to actually stop the gargoyles from picking up the dwarves, and you won't be attacked as hard. But that's a strategy for that map, and I haven't gotten to that map in my playthrough yet. I've got it ready, I just haven't recorded it for you guys, and I know you're waiting very patiently for the next episode, but that'll be out soon. Okay. Chapter 2. Heroes. Now bear with me here. Looks like there's a lot of information on the screen, but it's really, really easy. Levels you'll receive heroes at. Alright, so at level 6, the shop will have a new item, and it'll be one of these 9 heroes. This is random. I've just put these here as placeholders. One of these 9 heroes will be here at level 6 in the shop. On the star menu, the specialty items. And then you'll receive 1 hero for each level thereafter. But in order to buy them, the first hero would cost 10 gold, then 20, then 40, then 80, then 160, then 320, and then from there on out they all cost 640. Now down here you might notice there's one with an X at level 15. That's because from level 15 onwards, if any of these dwarves die, they'll start showing back up in the shop at level 15. So you can buy their statue heads again. Now, if you've bought all the heroes, that'll cost revive. Here it is here. They'll cost 640. But it's actually dependent on where you're at. So let's say I buy one hero, and then I go all the way to level 15, and I never buy any of these heroes. But he dies. And now it's level 15, he pops back up in the shop. He'll cost 20 gold. Because he's the second hero that I've bought. And then the next hero will cost 40. So that's basically how it works. And like I said, heroes received are random. And like I said, revive will cost whatever your next hero in line purchase price will be. When heroes die, they'll start appearing one by one after level 15. So if 4 heroes die, you'll have to wait until 15, 16, 17, 18. Level 18 to get them all back. Which is unfortunate, they don't all show up at once. And it's rare. I think, actually no, it's not random. It depends on which hero you bought first to which one will appear back in the shop. So let's have a look at the heroes. Starting from the cheapest hero, Anuran. So I've put the price of what all these materials cost in the shop here, so you can use that as a guide. I'm starting off with the cheapest hero to purchase. So if you don't want to collect all these resources, it'll cost you 10 gold, and he's the first hero to pop up in the shop. It'll cost you 10 gold plus 5 to buy all this. Or you can just collect it for free, and it'll cost you 10 gold. An old wise master who discovered how to control frogs so they can attack foes and assist allies. So pretty basic recipe. Like I said, it only costs 5 gold. You can basically get all this early game. He is the cheapest hero for a reason, and these frogs are amazing. Well, they're not amazing, but they are his weapon. He can summon 4 at a time. I think 4 or 5. Yeah, I think 4. Yeah, might be right. It might be wrong there. Okay, so Anuran. He has 3000 HP. His walking speed, like I said, these are all basic. Hidden armor 0.2. His damage is only 30. You cannot increase that. Attack speed is 1.3. He can only carry 2 items. His mining is 15. His lumbering is 15. He cannot use anything to do with construction. So he cannot cook, he cannot woodwork, he cannot use the forge. Skills: he's a fisher and a swimmer. So he's great for fishing and really good at getting around in the water. Abilities: he summons battle toads up to 5. There we go, I got it there. 60-second cooldown. This is actually not true. I don't know why I put this there. He will do it whenever he doesn't have 5 out. So he'll summon 5, and then if all 5 of them die, they only last 30 seconds. So he'll summon another 5. And these frogs, I should put it here, but I didn't. They deal 50 damage, so it's a lot more than his 30. If they hit an enemy, and they'll hop towards an enemy if they see one. So 50 damage. And they also, if they hit a dwarf that is missing health, they'll heal 50 damage on a dwarf. This also works on mercenaries, pets. Yeah, no, it works on pretty much everything. So yeah. No notable things: it cannot hurt neutral animals directly. So if you tell him to hurt a sheep, he will not be able to listen to your command. He won't do it. The frogs can hurt it, but he won't listen to you. And he cannot place constructions. This goes back to the forge thing. He just wants nothing to do with building at all. He can place blocks, like a dirt block or a cement block or anything, or a stone, but he won't place like a fireplace or something like that. He just won't listen. Okay, moving on. Now here's Olvold's. Now he costs $7, 7 gold from the store. Unlike ordinary werewolves, this hero learned to control the beast within and can now transform at will. So no, you don't need the red moon to transform with Olvold's. And but one thing is still true, you cannot control him when he is in werewolf form. Now, having a look at his stats, I put them right next to each other. He has 2000 HP when in human form, and 3000 HP when in were-dwarf form. Now, I may as well skip to the bottom here before I go back. He cannot fight or work in the wrong form. So when he's in human form, he will not fight. He'll change into a were-dwarf and fight. And the same goes for when he's working. So can he use the forge? Yes, he can. He can cook, clean, whatever. He'll change into a human to do that. And he can also, mine and all that stuff. But he switches between the two. And like I said, you cannot control him when he's fighting. Walking speed 105 and 130 when in were-dwarf form. Climbing speed 80 and that should be 50, but it's 0. Were-dwarfs don't usually climb things, they jump. So this 0 is, it should be 50, but it's kind of accurate. Like when he's going up a ladder, if he's trying to fight something, he'll jump up instead of climbing, which is a lot slower. He's got hidden armor 0.2. Damage, you can increase this, so it's $20. It's 20 for some strange reason in human form, which doesn't make sense because he can't fight in human form, but it's 120 in were-dwarf form. So basically the same as a normal were-dwarf. His attack speed is 1.3 in human form, which like I said doesn't make sense. 1.0 in were-dwarf form. Did I say human? Human. Yeah, 1.3 in human. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. He can carry 5 items, which is the highest out of any hero. And his mining is only 15, lumbering 15, and he can't increase those stats. His skills are hunter and warrior. And his abilities, he can change into a were-dwarf at any time of day. Now, there is a hidden thing that I couldn't understand. He takes a swig of his mug of beer. As you can see here, he's got a mug of beer. Now, he does this randomly when he's bored. And I swear that I saw a dwarf next to him gain the ability of movement speed, like drinking a mug of beer or wine. So whether or not that's true and my eyes weren't deceiving me, he can increase the movement speed of other dwarves nearby and himself. But I haven't been able to repeat that, so take that with a grain of salt. And I wouldn't rely on it either because I tested it and I couldn't get him to repeat it. Alright, next hero. Demeter. Or Demeter. A protector of nature who can communicate with plants and animals but is nonetheless a wonderful hunter. Now, she costs 8 gold if you buy all this, and plus whatever you pay for the hero up front. Now, as you can see, she has a bow, so different hero, not a melee hero. Health 2000, which is very low for a hero. Walking speed basic, climbing speed basic, armor hidden armor 0.2, damage 70 plus because you can increase the archer stat. Attack speed 1.3 times 5. She fires 5 arrows. That means her accuracy is 50 to 100%. Because of the spread of the arrows, she's more than likely going to hit with one of them. And yes, it is 70 damage per arrow. So if she's really close to an enemy, she will deal a lot of friggin' damage. She can only carry 2 items, and her mining and lumbering is the lowest, like all vaults. She cannot use constructions, which is one of her biggest downfalls. Even though she looks smart, she can't do it. So forge, cooking, library, all out of the question. Laboratory, all that stuff, out of the question. Abilities: plants a tree whenever Demeter is standing. Wherever Demeter is standing. 60-second cooldown. She'll do this anywhere, underground, above ground, wherever. She'll do it on top of rocks. Actually, not rocks, but you know, anything that has any kind of resemblance to dirt. Notes. Well, it can become a problem. Like if you're trying to dig through an area and she comes along, she'll plant a tree there, and it's really fucking annoying. So that's the only problem with her. Yes, planting trees is cool, but sometimes she does it where you don't want her to do it. What can you do? So that's pretty much all there is to know about Demeter. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. He knows Kung Fu and is extremely nimble. He costs 8 gold, so same as Demeter. And as you can see, pretty basic. You should be able to get a wooden staff, and this would be the most difficult thing to get. I think they cost 1 gold, so yeah. You can either say 8 gold or 1 gold. You should pretty much be able to get all the rest of this by the time heroes become available. Now looking at Sun Wukong, he has 3000 HP, which can be increased. All of the health and walking and climbing speeds can be increased by using mugs of beer and wine and using the library to craft increased health. Heroes scale off the library abilities, just so that you know. So now you know, I should have said that up front, but anyway, walking speed 200, it's the highest in the game. This can be increased when he's running. He actually runs really fast, and with a mug of beer, it's outrageous. He just goes, he flies. His armor is 60, which is the highest. This is huge. Like, I did some testing, and it took nearly half an hour for a spider on normal difficulty to kill him. So yeah, damage 96 plus. It's because he has the warrior stat. You can increase this. His attack speed is 1.3. Now I think this is misleading. I think he has an increased attack speed, because it seems that he attacks a lot faster than this. So I wouldn't be surprised if that stat is wrong, but it does say in the files that his attack speed is 1.3, so I'm keeping that. He can carry only 5 items. He cannot mine, he cannot lumber. He's the only hero that cannot do these 2 things. He can also not use any of the forges or anything like that. His skills are climber and warrior, and his abilities, he doesn't have any. He cannot break, cut, chop, dig any block. And unfortunately, in the code, it is written that he thinks that he can. This is a huge bug, and if you've been watching my series for a while, you may have even seen in the first episode that I mentioned this. This is one of the biggest problems with this hero. His attack is great, his armor is great, his health is great, his walking speed is great. The fact that he can carry 5 items is great. The fact that he can't do any of this doesn't matter. But this is a huge problem. Cannot break, cut, chop, dig any block. And the fact that he thinks that he can, and he'll bug out and he'll stand there waiting to do it and he can't do it. It's just stupid. You can fix it, but why should we have to do that when the developers should be responsible for that? Anyway, I've had my little rant. Let's move on to the next hero. Alright, Burner. When this hero was working on his fire skills, he was often sent to the kitchen as punishment, so he learned how to roast both his foes and a good steak. He costs 9 gold if you were to buy all these from the shop. One of the biggest items here you'll notice is silver ore. So usually people will just buy the silver ore, which is only 2 gold, and that's about it. I reckon he's probably the strongest hero, other than no, I think he's the strongest hero, and we'll see why. He has 3000 HP, which is unusual for a mage, but that'll do, right? Same as a normal dwarf, same as a normal dwarf, same as a normal dwarf. His damage is 28, but he deals AoE damage, so that's 28 to anything around the target that he hits. He throws fireballs with every attack. Attack speed 1.3, can carry 4 items, which is not bad. Mining is as low as you can get. He can use a forge, library and all that. Skills, mage, which is why he can increase his damage. And cook, which is, you should see this guy cook. It is amazing. Abilities, Armageddon, 60-second cooldown, calls down a rain of fire, which deals 28 damage, or whatever that number is, in all several, I think there's about 20 fireballs that he calls down. So it's a lot of damage, and he can do that every 60 seconds. Notes, every attack is a fireball dealing area damage. So this guy is really brutal. He's really handy to have early game. So what, you have to buy a silver, or you could probably dig down and find some. Maybe not on level 4. It's really dangerous to dig down too deep at level 4. Too early to find some silver. But he is a handy hero, and I reckon he's one of the strongest. Even though 28 seems a little bit low, because it's AoE and his attack speed is 1.3, it's really strong. And Armageddon just cooks a lot of enemies. Great for killing bugs. Armageddon, excellent for killing bugs. Not bugs, those ants. Ants, that's what they're called, yeah. Okay, Barry Tinkerton. A mechanical dwarf that contains parts of the soul of its unknown inventor. He actually costs quite a lot. Now, you'll come across all this really early in the game, except for this lantern. You'll have to make that. You go it because no one uses lanterns. They don't seem to be that useful. So you'll have to make this. Everything else you'll make. So he's probably the 2nd or 3rd hero that you'll buy, and he'll be good value for money. So spending this to get him may be worth it if you want him to have him first. But like I said, you'll have all this stuff at level 7 or 8. So maybe just wait, and you'll get him a lot of next. Okay, so he has a lot of HP, 70,000 HP, 7,000 HP. His walking speed and climbing speed are the same as normal dwarf. Armor, same. He only has 21 attack damage, 1.3 attack speed. He can only carry 1 item. This is one of the biggest faults with him. His mining is 150 plus. That means that he's basically a mithril axe walking, a mithril pickaxe walking, straight out of the back of the gates. Lumbering only 15, can't increase that stat. Can he use a forge? No, he cannot use any factories or anything like that. Skills, climber and miner. So that's why you can see 150 plus, because he has a miner ability, a miner skill. Abilities, mining aura buff. This increases all dwarves around him. Mining ability by 10%, which is really handy, and unfortunately it only works on like 2 or 3 dwarves, because when you're mining you don't have all your dwarves there. So yeah, it's a 60-second cooldown, so it's handy, but he can fly, but only outside of human control. This is one of the biggest faults. I wish they'd add an action button, because if you could do this on your own, that'd be awesome, because that'd remove the climbing speed, because he climbs and it looks like he's flying, and it's just stupid. And he flies faster than he walks, so yeah, basically like a wyvern on a normal dwarf, and that's, yeah, it's one of his abilities that he can do on his own. I've only ever seen this once get a glitch where he gets stuck in a rock, but I've played nearly 3,000 hours of gameplay and it's only happened once, so I really doubt it'd happen ever again. Dwarfs. A dwarf thinker who discovered the secrets of the universe and learned how to tear the fabric of space and open portals. Now, as you can see, he requires silver and gold. Gold is the trouble one here. That's a lot further down. 12 gold coins to buy all this. So he's more of a mid to late game hero that you might buy, unless you want to spend 12 gold plus whatever you purchased for him up front. Now he has 3000 HP, same as a normal dwarf, same as a normal dwarf, same as a normal dwarf. His damage is 60 plus. Now this is a lightning bolt. It doesn't jump to different targets, which is unfortunate. Usually starves when, you know, they shoot their electricity. Depending on their endgame viability, they jump to different targets, but he can only hit one target at a time, which is unfortunate. So yeah, his attack speed is 1.3. Can carry 3 items, which is okay. Mining, lumbering, both just as bad. Can use the forge, yes, he's quite smart. He knows what to do here. He can use libraries and all that. Skills, mage, carpenter, mage, so he can increase his damage. Abilities, magic collect, sorry, the ability magic collect, he has that, 120 second cooldown, and portal. He can cast a portal from one place to another, not from your stockpile, from wherever he is to wherever he wants to go. Now this is another reason I wish that you had an action button, because then you could control when this could happen. But unfortunately the only way to do it is to control him and just wait. He'll do it whenever he sees too many items on the ground, magic collect, and he'll do the portal thing wherever bloody wants. Long cooldowns, you can't force cast portal. It's important. He won't do the portal while you're controlling him. So he's a pretty nifty hero to have, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you can't control any of this. It's nifty to have, but he'll just do it randomly. But free portals are free portals, right? That's the only reason to get this hero. Alright, Magni Hook Catcher. You didn't think this hero would limit himself to just giving advice. This old warrior is ready to fight again. Now, he costs a lot of gold coins. And as you can see why, these weapons here, two of these axes, and one of the worst things about these axes is the fact that you use them to make climbing gear, which is one of the best items in the game. So if you can spare 2 of these axes, then yeah, just remember that Magni needs 2 axes to be bought. That's why it costs so much. Yeah. So he's not worth the 17 gold coins. And let's see why. 3000 HP, same as a normal dwarf, yeah. Damage 90 plus, so this is good. This is really good. A lot more than any other hero. 1.3 attack speed, which is excellent considering he has a mace or an axe or whatever. He can carry 5 items, which is really weird. His mining, 15 plus, but the problem is he starts at 15, whereas Barry Tinkerton starts at 150, which is really odd which is why I've written down here, not as good a miner as he thinks he is. So it's like starting a dwarf at level 1 and then leveling him up. Skills, he has the warrior and miner ability, so he basically has the perfect combo. Unfortunately though, his damage is great, but his mining is so low that the miner ability, you need to work that into him. And you can't use books on him. You can use the new Elixir of Knowledge on him, on heroes, that is. But yeah, that's about it. And they take a lot to make. He cannot use forges, so yeah, you'll never see him cooking anything or making woodwork or library or anything like that. Abilities. Melee attack aura buff, 60-second cooldown. He increases the melee attack damage of all dwarves around him by 10% for 30 seconds. This is a 60-second cooldown. So yeah, he's really good at killing bosses. Oh, I can't believe I got rid of that. He also has a, oh shit, what was it? 10%? No, well, it's not 10, it's 30. 30% chance to freeze on attack. So he has the freezing ability on his attack. A 30% chance, or 30% chance. So that should be here, but it's not. I don't know why it's not. Yeah. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And so he's really good at killing bosses, because anything that freezes is really good at killing bosses. Okay, so I had a look at my notes, and it appears as though it's a 10% chance on attack to freeze the enemy. This can be a boss, it can be anything. So even the hardest enemies in the game he can freeze. I guess that works with any freezing. But yeah, and he also has a 100% chance to knock the target back. So there are two things that I missed. I should have added here. I'm sorry for that mistake, but they were here. I've gone over this so many times that I've missed. Yeah, I've missed out on that, some information that was really important. So he's a great boss killer, and very useful to have. I know the mining thing is a little bit of a put off, but you can level that up if you want. You'll get there. But yeah, you got to start real low. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on. The Paladin. This zealous knight has such strong charisma that she boosts the morale of all allies around her. As you can see, the most expensive hero by far. And that has a lot to do with the sword. The sword is like 15 gold. So you need to be in at least being able to make this sword before you can afford it. It is the cheapest way to get this hero, is to wait until you can actually craft it, because by the time you're getting this sword, you can just buy this silver for 2 gold, and there you go, you're done. You'll have all the rest of this. So yeah, probably 3rd or 4th hero, if it pops up randomly, that is. Let's have a look at the stats. Health 3000, walking speed same. Armor, it has 16 armor. She has 16 armor. Damage 100 plus. Attack speed 1.3, can carry only 2 items. Mining, lumbering 15, can't increase those. Cannot use any constructions. It was really unfortunate, yeah. Skills, mage and warrior. Yeah, so the mage ability doesn't really do much, but the warrior ability, yeah, increases her damage. Abilities, protective aura. This increases all armor around her, all the dwarves around her, by 10% for 30 seconds. She also has another ability called Immortal Shield, which can stop a dwarf from dying for 10 seconds. So yeah, and it actually causes a bug. If that dwarf dies after the shield is worn off, and you've got a jar of souls, that dwarf will then respawn and you'll lose all the dwarf won't go into the jar of souls for you to resurrect it with a resurrection potion. So yeah, this immortal shield, it is a bit of a problem. They haven't worked out the bugs, I think because no one's reported the bug. So and plus she doesn't cast it very often. It took me hours to get vision of this. I was like, well, immortal shield, what's that? I've never seen that. And then I played and played and played, and I finally saw it, and it was a grey shield icon. Like the protective aura is a circle with a yellow shield on it. So it's a yellow circle with a yellow shield on all the dwarves. The immortal shield is a silver circle with a shield on it, and it's got a 60-second cooldown. She should be doing this more often, but she doesn't. She's usually leading the way. That's probably why. Notes. Now I did some testing and seems to take reduced magic damage. I tested her against a spider and she died in 15 minutes. I tested her against a dragon, and it took her 45 minutes to die. So there's something going on here that is hidden. This is why I had to make this video, because there are so many things that the developers don't want us knowing, and the wiki is just like, oh well, we don't know, man, like what's going on here. It's not in the stats, it's, you know, like it's information that's hard to come by. I had to test this, and she has some kind of reduced magic damage that is hidden, like the 0.2 armor that's usually on most of the other dwarves. Yeah, and the attack speed value that's hidden flat out, it's just hidden, unless you get a weapon, and you can see it on a dwarf. But anyway, that's the paladin, and one of the coolest heroes, other than the bug with the immortal shield. But like I said, it took me hours to get footage of it, and I'm not going to show you it here, but because to be honest, I can't find it. I got like so many recorded videos. It's in one of them. Yeah, but it is there, and it is real. It does work, and it is why you'll have a resurrected hero when you got a jar of souls, and a resurrected dwarf, and you're like, wait a minute, I have a jar of souls, why didn't you go in there? Well, this is why. So yeah, but great hero, and yeah, it's a great way to finish off the hero section and go out with a bang, because this is probably one of the most valuable heroes. Bang for buck. Chapter 3, Monks. Rightio, so now we're jumping into monks, and we're going to start with Monk of the Order of Air. A student of the School of Air, fast as the wind, his strikes unleash the power of thunder. Like all elemental monks, he has taken vows that prohibit him from using weapons in battle or wearing any armor. As you can see here, you can only equip them with an axe or a pickaxe. And this is just an example. You get a random name, so this is just an example. So we'll go to the stats. Okay, so the Air Monk. You have 1000 HP, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but they do scale with the library, so that's good. Walk speed, climbing speed, all the same. The armor, this was up for debate. I asked everyone I knew who's really into this game, and we could not come up with an answer. Basically, it says in the hidden stats that it has 1.5 times 0.2. So we came up with the biggest, because a monk can take a hell of a lot more of a beating than a normal dwarf. So it can't be this simple math right here. It has to be 150 times 0.2, which equals 30. So we're convinced of that. I would assume that the 30 is the correct answer. We could be wrong, but yeah, with 1000 HP, these things take a long time to die. You start off with 10 damage, but this scales with whatever is your best equipped weapon. so your pickaxe and your axe add to this damage, not together, whichever one has the highest. So if one has 25 and the other one has 35, you'll have 35 damage, if you follow me. Attack speed 1.3. There are also 2 types of attacks. Can carry 3 items. Mining 15 plus, lumbering 15 plus. That's obviously because you can equip them with different items. Can use forge, yes, very useful. They can do all the cool stuff. Skills, this one is the air monk is a climber and a logger. So basically you start her out, you know, can climb, won't fall off cliffs and everything, and can get a lot of trees for you. Abilities, 10% chance on attack to deal lightning damage. This lightning jumps twice, and I don't know if it deals reduced damage or not, but you will see it. He will do a punch, and then a kick, and the kick is the 10% chance. Notes, easiest monk to obtain. You obtain them straight away, you know where they are. So is it the weakest? I don't know. And yeah, does that lightning damage get weaker as it jumps to enemies? I don't know. It probably doesn't, to be honest, because staffs don't get weaker on normal dwarves, so why would this? Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next monk. Monk of the Order of Water. A student of the School of Water, an excellent fisherman who never lets his tribe go hungry. He can freeze enemies with his strikes. He also keeps food fresh, like all elemental monks. He has taken vows that prohibit him from using weapons in battle or wearing any armor. Same deal here. Axe, pickaxe, only things that the monk can equip. And the stats are as follows. 1000 HP, pretty much all the same. This monk, the water monk, has a value of 1.6, so we came to the conclusion that it has 32 hidden armor, and all the stats are basically the same. Can carry 3 items, 1.3 attack speed. Skills, swimmer and fisher. Abilities, 10% chance on attack to freeze enemies. Notes, all-rounder monk, great for speed fishing and killing bosses. Like I said, anything that can freeze on attack is great for bosses, because they deal a lot of upfront damage, and it's just good to get them frozen and they just stop attacking. Unfortunately though, I have tested this, and some things freeze for about 1 second. This monk only seems to freeze for a little bit less than that. So I don't know whether that's difficulty setting or but it's quite low, but it's not a bad find, the water monk. Let's move on to the next one. Monk of the Order of Earth. A student of the School of Earth, strong as stone. He is very difficult to defeat in battle, and his ore mining skills inspire awe. Like all elemental monks, he has taken vows that prohibit him from using weapons in battle and wearing armor. So you can have an axe and a pickaxe. And the stats, same health, same everything. Everything's pretty much the same. The armor is 2.0, so it makes it the strongest, sturdiest monk, with 40 armor, hidden armor. Skills, climber and miner, which you saw on the other screen, but I don't know if you did. So miner, this is one of the best things to have, so you can increase that mining stat even more than it already is without just equipping pickaxes. Abilities, 10% chance on attack to deal earth damage. Now I thought this was a knockback, but I tested it and it doesn't seem to knock back. So yeah. Notes, sturdiest monk, most useful as a miner, which it really is. It's, the fact that you can equip it with any pickaxe and it already has the miner ability It really is, and if it comes across a spider or anything like that, it can hold its own. 10% chance to on attack to deal earth damage. Now, I know we've gone over 3 monks already, and I haven't mentioned what that damage actually is. The freeze is pretty obvious; it's no damage at all. But I'm pretty sure it's 10 times this amount, so 100 damage it would be at level when you first get him. It's quite a lot, but I could be wrong on that fact. There is no evidence to back this up. I couldn't find any. But yeah, we'll move on to the next monk. Monk of the Order of Fire. A student of the School of Fire, a talented blacksmith who is incredibly strong in battle. His fists are charged with flame. Like all elemental monks, he has taken vows that prohibit him from using weapons in battle or wearing any armor. Okay, so yep, same deal. Axe, pickaxe. Health, 1000, same, has 34 armor, so second strongest. Damage, 10, that's what it starts out with. Attack speed, 2.0. That's wrong. That should be 1.3. Sorry about that. Can carry 3, mining, yep. Can use forge, yes. Skills, smith. Now, this is the only monk to have one skill. I don't know why. It could have had cook here easily, because fire, cook, you know. Abilities, 10% chance on attack to deal AoE fire damage. And this is really cool because if you're in a Serent, like if you're dealing with ants, this guy can shred them. So he's great to have along for the ride. Hardest shrine to clear. It's the one with the dragons. It's very difficult to clear if you don't have ranged weapons. You can use a trick called scaffolding, and that can, you know, get your melee weapons onto the dragons, as long as they don't get out, because then, you know, you need like 1,000 bloody scaffolds. But, you know, if you have like 20, 30 scaffolds, you can easily take down this shrine with melee weapons. But a lot of people aren't going to do that. They're going to use ranged weapons, and it takes a long time to kill a dragon with a ranged weapon, because chance to miss, all that beautiful stuff there. Okay, so that's it for the monks. Bonus chapter, pets. So we're going to start off with the owl cat. Neither a cat nor an owl, just another pet to help the dwarves in their adventures. And as you can see, I put the price if you wanted to buy this from the store. You could buy all this stuff and make it, or you could just make it yourself. It's not that hard to get to it. It costs 15 gold to buy it outright, so if you're able to make it, it'll cost you 5 gold to get all the materials, but by that time you should already have all this stuff ready. Okay, so health, it has 1700 health. Walking speed is 50, and when it runs it has 110. Climbing speed only 50, armor 0. Damage 90, attack speed 1.8, which is, yeah, really good. Can carry 0. It's for defense only. AI controlled, higher attack speed, choice of pets. So yeah, the 1.8, yeah, and then 90 damage. Moving on. Frogalisk. This creature is an incredible mix of a frog and a reptile. It serves the dwarves as a faithful companion and guardian for their shelter. Costs the same price, it's just the same materials mixed around, and the same thing goes for this one as well. You may as well wait until you're able to build it. Okay, so you'll see it has more health, 2000 health, but it's a little bit slower. 40 speed and 80 speed running. Climbing speed is a little lower as well, and it has a little bit lower damage, but it's got more health, and attack speed's the same, and all that other stuff is nonsense. AI controlled, deals less damage and is slower but has more health. So that's pretty much it for the Frogolus. So it's more of a tank. And you use your Dwarves to assist this pet. Whereas with the Owlcat, you're more likely to use the Owlcat to deal the damage. But we'll move on to the next pet. So this is the Imp. Now you can make this pretty much straight away, but because it requires silver ore, you might have to dig a little deeper to get this. These trusty magical servants help you add a lot of items to your stockpile. Now it only has 100 health, flying speed is 220, flying with cargo is 200, which is quite fast, but they teleport, so yeah, they can only carry one item. Abilities, teleportation, ally controlled, very weak and yet evasive. That should be evasive, fucking bloody hell, but still needs to sleep every so often. So yeah, I've never seen one of these things die. I don't know why they have 100 HP. But then again, by the time you get these things, nobody usually gets them early because the other pets are so much more useful early in the game. So your base is never really in danger. But if you get one of these, they can't attack. They don't deal any damage. They don't have any attack speed. They're just for collecting items. They will teleport from your base to the item, pick up, teleport back, and put it in the stockpile for you. Great for making the Dwarves not travel back and forward. But other than that, yeah, they're more of an endgame pet. Once you've got your tentacles and all that set up, and your catapults and whatever you're using to defend with, then you remove all your pets and put imps in, because that's what you want. A little bit of a bonus pet here, and an old friend. The old friend spawns when a house of an old friend is placed. It has the same statistics of an Owlcat, and it's free. How is it free? Well, okay, I'll go to the notes first. AI controlled, only available during Halloween event, basically an Owlcat with higher health. And as you'll see here, all the stats are the same, except it has 700 extra health than an Owlcat. So it is just better. But you can only get it during the Halloween event. Or you can change the date on your computer, whatever you want to do. But remember, you can't open a lot of programs while you're doing that. So yeah, only Halloween event exclusive. But yeah, I would say it's the best pet. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you learned a lot, and I appreciate anyone who tuned in to watch. I hope the guys over at the Wiki can get some of this information and add it in, because I don't know what I'm doing in that regard. Because a lot of this information isn't on there, and I'd really like that. I would have liked that information, you know, when I was playing, because it's useful, you know, like to know what the heroes are capable of, the dwarves are capable of, what are the mercenaries like, what are the pets like. The pets are on there, but you know, yeah, it's just stuff like that, you know, what do the monks do, you know. So yeah, I just thought this would be useful, and yeah, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. Hit the thumbs up, yeah, the thumbs up button, obviously. Yeah, and let us know down below which hero you'd pick if you had a choice. Which is your favorite hero? So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, be good to your mother, and I'll see you next time. Peace.